Hello, my name's Paola Venables and I am the Year 7 Transition and Pastoral Manager at Haysfield.
Hello there, I'm Louise White and I'm the Year 10 and 11 Pastoral Manager. Today we're going to discuss different pressure points that are occurring in homes up and down the country. And we want to present to you some solutions and some strategies and to give some support. We know and recognise these are difficult times and strange times, and we're here for you.
So clearly young people are changing from being children into young adults, and there will be behaviours that look like the following signs, warning signs, which are part of a natural transition. But clearly there comes a point when you may be feeling actually this isn't getting any better, or things may be getting worse. And negative behaviours aren't unusual, but we have to be mindful of the fact that when these negative behaviours are impacting on their lives, impacting on someone else, or impacting on their education, then obviously it's time to look for support.
So you're all living teenagers or pre-teenagers, and that comes with challenges in itself. And the pandemic and the lockdown restrictions have brought additional stresses and strains, financial considerations and health considerations. So some of what you will see at home where children are eating in their bedrooms or not eating or over-exercising doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong. But as Paola has said, that some of these are an indicator that something's not quite right. There's been a significant increase in mental health issues, in eating disorders and other negative behaviours as a way of the young people trying to make sense of what is happening and have some control over their lives.
So the slides that we've just shown you are to help you identify that actually the increased online use that the young people are experiencing at the moment due to remote learning and socialising via the internet can be very beneficial for maintaining that contact and that connection. But equally, you need to be mindful of the possible dangers, and resources available here at the NSPCC and also from the previous slide are there for you to look at if you're worried about anything that's happening online.
A really good source of support and help is still your GP. Certainly Paola and myself, we're not medically trained. We do have a school nurse, as most schools do, available to us. But seeking a medical professional's opinion on what is normal, usual behaviour, and as we know, teenagers are anything but normal and usual, everything's very dramatic for them, is really comforting, and it's a good place to start. So we would always recommend that you seek just a GP consultation so that you can catch things early on. There's a very useful YouTube video that I think you should watch at some point that's convenient to you, to just know that many carers and parents at the moment are facing very similar circumstances as you have.
So as Louise has just mentioned, we would always recommend that you seek medical advice if you are unsure about what is going on for your child. And equally, another area of support that goes alongside and hand in hand with medical advice is how school can support you. You can always contact your school if you've got a concern, and school will help and support you depending upon each individual situation. It's very much a case by case, it's not a one-size-fits-all menu. And obviously a variety of support will be offered depending upon the situation. This is usually done in a staged or stepped approach depending upon the issues. So one of the things that school may offer you is the opportunity for your child to be mentored by another student, by an external agency, maybe by a teacher, depending upon what the issues are. But that's definitely something to consider if you know, as a way of feeling more engaged and connected within the school community. Also, every school has access to the school nursing service, and they are absolutely fantastic in working with their families as well as children in a way in order to bring on a healthy way of living and whatever that may entail. And they are also able to then follow on with further referrals if that is needed. School can also offer your child interventions and support around securing good, positive relationships and friendships, because we know that teenagers bump in and out of their friendships as they're going through their secondary schooling, and sometimes that can be very, very hard, and that can impact on your emotional well-being, especially with feelings of isolation or feeling a little bit left out. And there's lots that school can offer in order to kind of work through that for a positive outcome.
So school can also support by offering counselling, which might sound a little dramatic in the first instance, but it's just really an opportunity for them to talk to somebody, and somebody who's a specialist and can signpost possibly to further support. So contact your school, as Paola says, and we can look. What might be suitable for a year 7 is not suitable for a year 10 and an 11 who's looking at their GCSEs. But counselling services, and there are a wide variety available. There's CBT, there's listening services, etc. So counselling is a good place to start quite often. Again, some of the behaviours that you may see at home and might be worried about might not be to do with emotional health as such. It might be more of what we call risky behaviours. Some children, some young people have turned to what we call substance abuse, smoking, vaping, drinking, using drugs. So again, we can signpost you and we can support you with the referrals so that the children are better protected. It's very, very difficult times and nobody has all the answers.
So, as Louise has mentioned, what we're trying to get across is that there is a lot of support available, and a lot of organisations have really come on board and been very creative in what they're able to offer, and what will suit different families at different times for different situations. So our local authority, Baines, are offering a lot of online support, especially around this period of COVID and the pandemic. They have got, on the slideshow, you will be able to click on a lot of links to pages that may be of interest to you. And in fact, when you are online, you will find that there are lots and lots of resources that you can tap into that will be helpful and that you can self-refer to. It's obviously, school will always want to be part of that conversation with you because we work together in a holistic way with a child. But there is nothing stopping you or your child contacting and connecting with organisations like COOF, the MSPCC, very well-known charities, and Childline, obviously, I think is probably one of the best known. Yeah.
Young Minds is also a very, very good source of information, and No Panic is new to me actually, but where sometimes people are suffering with panic attacks, they've got a very, very good click on there about getting in control of your breathing. Samaritans, again, if you are concerned about your young person. And don't forget as well, your local accident and emergency, if you are at that point in a crisis where you think somebody, it might possibly take their own life, you could always take them to accident and emergency.
And as you can see, this is further agencies that offer support. We are very aware that our families have been impacted by bereavement, more so than maybe they would have been in the past. And that, has an impact, but there are definitely charities that are offering support there, such as Winston's Wish and Hope Again.
Another useful website is with regard to eating disorders, and just getting those little senses that, I don't know, I think something is not quite right here, and then you're able to talk to people and you're able to also go online. What some people did originally was they got involved with the Couch to 5K and the Joe Wicks programs, which were an excellent idea, but they've taken it as their whole obsessional control of coronavirus, and that's when it becomes unhealthy, physically and emotionally. So as Paola said, always contact your GP, always contact us, or if you'd rather not in the initial stages, have a look at these websites because they're really, really useful.
So I think finally, the light at the end of the tunnel is that we're absolutely in this together. We haven't experienced anything like this in our living memory, and we're working together in order to try and come through it in the most positive way that we can. And we'll continue to do so, and for you to know that you aren't alone. And if you have any concerns and they're not shifting or not changing, they're not moving, it is something that you are worried about, then you know that we are working together with you in order to offer the support that we can.
Definitely. I hope you find this interesting and useful, and obviously if you're a Hazefield student, please contact us because we are here to help.